Oh.
Oh, back at Speaker's Corner again. I was trying to get to the Houses of Parliament, but bloody well, science has transported me here again. I need to have a word of Scotty from Star Trek Enterprise up there. Beat me in the wrong places, you chicken monkey. Well, you've guessed it. We are now at Who is Speaker's Corner, and this is an attempt to try and describe and so that you can understand the characters here in this forest of thoughts and ideas, what a tree is and its identity. Because in a forest, there are a myriad of different varieties, and this channel will help to enlighten us, and so we see the tree rather than the forest. And on that note, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Richard, and there are three themes really I desperately want to communicate to the world.
Yeah, just before we get onto that, as I just described a moment, literally just a
I thought
moment
you told me
ago.
to be short.
Sure, yes. So, Richard,
Yes,
let's first, before getting that, obviously you don't need to, you only give as much details as you wish, by the
yes.
way, which you'll understand in a second, because the question asked. Is there something we can tell us about your early life and how you've come to be a person at Speaker's Corner first?
My early life was unexceptional in every way. Brought up as by a single mother. So my family was very, very poor most of the time. But fortunately, we did not know we were poor, which is great. You can stand being poor as long as you don't know that there are other people who have things you don't have. That's my experience anyway. And so I grew up without having any particular complex about it. Only thing that caused me a lot of problems was this bizarrely posh voice, which developed one day without me realizing. I certainly wasn't trying to get on other people, but it simply happened because I happened to like the precision of slightly upper class expression.
Okay, so that's something you've added to your persona
Not consciously, it just happened one
subconsciously.
day.
All right. And so, what kind of work were you doing as a younger man, or indeed now?
Well, most of my life I've done, well, all of my life really, I've done dead end jobs. Probably because I had no self belief. Now, if you grew up in a small community where nobody ever did anything really, it's very, very hard to have sufficient self belief in order to actually go out and then say, right, I can do this thing. It's only relatively recent I realised that good jobs are actually often held by idiots. You cannot, by the way, as a practical tip, if you lack self-confidence, you cannot convince yourself you're brilliant if life has not told you that.
That's very, very
But what
profound.
you can do is you can realise that a lot of the people who hold positions of power are complete idiots. You can say, well, I'm an idiot, they're an idiot, so therefore I can do the same good things that they can do. It's a little mental shortcut I found very, very useful.
Yeah, I just like to slightly, because it's on my channel, I have to make sure
Yes.
that viewers don't think I'm sharing the same view, which, because he said, doesn't mean I'm complying with it. But I agree with you a bit. I just think that maybe people who get top jobs, it's not that they're idiots, it's just they're chosen because there's certain blinkered approach to humanity, and demonstrating a lack of humanity does get you to rise to the top in certain positions in this, what they call a democracy, which I call a dictatorship. Do you disagree with that?
I just say being an idiot is not a qualification. That's not what I meant. I said that if you realise that they are not as bright as people assume they are, it means suddenly you can see yourself doing things you could not previously see yourself doing.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Right, thank you. So you've done jobs which haven't really been very fulfilling, but yet you've, in the realms of your existence, have heard about Speaker's Corner. Can you describe how you first heard about this place and then made that conscious decision to materialize, just like I did, before us all?
I don't know when I first heard about Speaker's Corner. Probably for a long time since I was a child.
Oh right, yeah. Actually, that's a good point. You'll have to tell us the when you first came here as well.
Yeah, well,
So
I first decided to come along, and at that point I was on the left. So I was a very poor left-wing speaker, and then came back as possibly a very poor right-wing speaker.
wha- I think we should talk about that journey as well. But before we get onto that, so roughly, How long have you been coming to Speaker's Corner?
In my current incarnation, probably 3, 4 years.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So not too long then.
No, but I consider myself a relatively long term.
Yeah, I will confirm the reality that you are a regular here and do contribute. I believe we don't agree with each other on a lot of stuff, I should point out, but you do engage in genuine debate and do engage in the noble pursuit of what Speaker's Corner really is, which is debate and speaking, as you're hearing right now. So, has it changed you at all? Coming to a place where engaging in debate, has it changed your understanding of the world? Has it made you stronger?
It had two effects. First of all, I became rather cynical because I realised that the people who have the largest voices have least to say, and that the easiest way to win an argument it was to confuse things to such an extent that nobody can follow the logical pattern of argument. Now, it's also changed me more recently, and it is possible to escape that. And my venture with you is part of that.
Oh, thank you very much.
Is that we are actually able to have logical discussions, which I've been unable to have on my own, because you simply get somebody who gets in a dick. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
No, yeah.
A status measuring
Yeah.
contest with you,
That's
and
a very good way of describing
the
it.
important thing for them is not to tell anybody anything, but to stop you talking and cover you with noise.
Yeah.
Now I'm learning, partly through your excellent format, that it is possible to
Me
escape.
and Khaled as well, by
Yes,
me and
yourself
Khaled.
and Khaled, and other people as well, actually. But yes, okay. Next question.
Well, thank you for saying hello there. Oh, we have wonderful police officers here. Thank you for the great work. Yeah, we can't. This never can never function without all the dedicated great work that the police have done here over the years. So I'd like to big thank you to the police. I'm sorry I haven't done a dedicated message to that as yet, but I will do that once I sort out my life and videoing and all that,
And the world.
and the world as well. So it has been hi there. It has been. You said cynical, but is there something you say positive as well?
Yes. I mean, I'm realizing it is possible to have intelligent conversations here, which makes all the nonsense worthwhile.
Brilliant.
And what's more, when when the other side, or when the idiots realize that they cannot derail you, they get bored with you, and you're only left with people who actually want to talk, which is very, very encouraging.
Yeah, and I believe, I hope you might agree with this
Yes.
and confirm this, that the majority of people would love to have great debate here
Yes.
and be able to demonstrate their maximum capability when talking with each other and do so politely, respectfully. Yes, we can get passionate, but passionate still, which isn't descends into the absurd. So, would you agree that there's a core here, an undercurrent here that doesn't really get that representation? Undercurrent, there is a core, in fact, here.
I do agree with that. Previously, I would have said that I would agree with you more or less out of faith, because intelligent, thoughtful people are sidelined very, very easily by loud a loud barrage of nonsense and non sequiturs and all the rest of it. So they're as much victims as I am, because we've been unable until recently to talk to one another, have an intelligent conversation, which both sides.
Oh, you need that. Sorry.
Oh, right, okay.
Do you need that? Sorry.
No, I can stand. Which both sides desire, but we've been unable to have that conversation. But now we can.
So I'm here as well, and again, please, at any point, if I say something you don't agree with, please say so straight away. But I believe that Speakers Corner should be across the world.
Yes.
And I believe every community should be able to have this space of debate where people, as you can see behind us, are not fighting each other, and are engaged in debate. But I believe that you and me and some other people, and you as well, I hope they're going to try to show. I hope they increase that be power. And it makes that it's not trying to be patronising. It's just that we're not born innately to understand how to have a debate. It's something that has to be displayed and taught and taught. And I hope you'll be part of that journey to teach how to have a debate and how to deal with these strong emotions that we can have and not repress them, but just chill them into a tool which is of which can help craft a beautiful sculpture of your concept that you're trying to, or dream that you're trying to articulate to the world. So yeah, Speakers Corner, but they're always going to, as you see what you're describing, I believe is done on purpose to stop people speaking.
Oh yes, it is.
And again, please disagree with me, but people like pseudo-atheist Steve, Bob the Destroyer, and I'm afraid Hatoon, though you may disagree, but let me finish first. Come here to try and just make it all a big shouting, I'm right, and this is the person in front of me who's wrong. And not only that, they're demonstrating they're the animal and I'm the superior entity, not through thought or that in itself is a dangerous way to address any zone of free speech. It's good, man. Good to see you. Just listen and you'll engage, and just listen and engage. So, all right, we'll just say pseudo-atheist Steve comes here and he just heckles people and shouts at people and stops diversity. Diversity.
Yeah, we're listening. Listen.
But I said, is he a Christian?
He's just a man.
So you want to
Well, listen. Everything will be clear if you listen.
acknowledge him. So
I acknowledge him as a human being. And I think that's one of the best and great things we can do with each other. Acknowledging.
Are you teaching the God or like
Listen, and then you'll understand.
And then you don't need to ask any questions.
sorry, all right, no, I'm just asking.
No,
because I wanna know what
listen.
you're talking about.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay, let's talk, and then you can listen
Yeah,
more. Up to you.
but I mean, this is another part of Speakers Corner. There's always going to be other great people intrigued, and that's just the way that Speakers Corner is. And it's if we weren't video, and of course we'd bring him straight in, but it's just because I'm doing a video about who is you. You know, you're doing fine. No one's upset.
I'm used to this.
No one's upset. So
Let's carry on.
we'll
and
carry
we'll
on.
be back.
We're
We'll be
almost
back to it.
finished as well. And so there are going to be people like Bob the Destroyer, Sudi FSC, who come here just to end free speech for everybody else. And that's what Sudi Steve has always done by heckling and shouting over people. But when they're always going to that. And the way you deal with that is do what we're doing. So we can transcend those elements, those instigators in society, those people that wish to end free speech.
Yes.
So can you tell the viewers now what sort of topics that you are interested in and interested in, and without going into detail,
Yeah, sure,
just
no.
so you give the
No, I can be succinct. Don't worry, I can.
yes, just give the overall.
I mean, there are three things that's basically my life is about at the moment. First of all, I'm researching.
No reference to the virus that should be mentioned.
Yeah. Don't worry. I mean, you asked a question, I'm going to give you the answer. I'm interested in the way the Constitution really works.
Brilliant.
There are approximately 700 institutions that almost nobody has heard the name of that actually very largely run Britain. And they're run by a very much smaller number of people.
Give one example, please.
Anything with the names Royal College in it.
That's a good example. Thank you. So what's
So they are that they are the yes.
Hold that.
Yeah, they are what's known as a learned society, which means a society which investigates and basically into a particular area. Effectively, since these groups are permanent, they've existed for 300, 400 years, whereas ministers change roughly every 18 months, they end up setting the agenda.
Yeah, good. Right, next category.
Next category is the livery companies, which exist within the City of London.
Can you just quickly expand on livery?
A livery company used to be a trade union, used to be a guild. What it has become over time is an association of people who often represent trades which no longer exist, such as candlewick makers and so forth, but who have a colossal amount of money which they then spend exactly as they wish. And since they are beholden to nobody or whatever, it makes them more powerful than ministries or registered charities because they have far, far greater scope in what they wish to spend their money on. So again, they tend to be levering the resources and controlling things to a far greater degree than you might think.
Fascinating. You mentioned, and the next one?
The two cities, the various different cities and the liberties, the two cities in London being Westminster City, City of Westminster, which we're in, that people don't even know exist, but I'm sitting here, and above all, the City of London, which has constitutional rights to interfere with wider government in ways that people don't understand and probably too complicated to explain here. But it's interesting to investigate it.
So I think what I'm getting the impression here is that the way the structure of the UK is built, you're interested in that infrastructure and describing it.
To see who's in charge, and therefore, once you know who's in charge, you can start influencing things because people are generally aware that who you vote for matters far less than you might think because the people are the same. They have the same policies, the same values, come from the same schools.
Oxbridge.
Yes. And they spout the same PC stuff.
Yeah.
Once you understand the way things are really running, you can look behind the curtain, and actually, most of these institutions you can join.
I think we're getting a very good impression of the type of man you are, your ability to deconstruct reality, your dedication to that, which is very noble. But again, because I interview him, doesn't mean I agree with him, just to clarify that again. But clearly, I do agree with anybody who's taken the effort to try and deconstruct reality and come back and then report your findings and musings upon that work you do. And that is a critical thinker, by the way. And we should all bow our hats or tip our hats to people that do that, because it is wonderful work.
Thank you.
And coming down to Speaker's Corner, whatever forum, and debating that is the next step to try and describe that reality, because no matter what numbers you look at, or figures you look at, and conclusions you draw to, at the end of the day, it is an opinion that is, though it is a qualified opinion, just to clarify that, the qualified opinion is very different from just an opinion, but it is a qualified opinion, and opinions do need to be looked into and then discussed, and they can morph accordingly or not, as the case may be. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to add to the description review when people come up to you and talk to you?
I think it's accurate, although obviously extremely superficial. There are layers upon layers upon layers to look at.
No, you as a person.
As me as a person, I always like to stay away from me as a person. People like to look at you as if you're some weird species of escaped lunatic and try and talk about what childhood trauma could possibly have brought you here.
Yes.
And that seems to be a big way of avoiding looking at things that are important in life. So I like to avoid that subject.
Absolutely. Okay. So is there a positive? Right. So we're going to conclude now, I believe.
Yes.
I think you've covered the areas you
I think we've done quite well.
I think we've done quite well, and I think we've all learned that he's definitely a man that is interrogating the reality that we live in. As I just declared, that's a very positive thing to do, but that does need debate. This is what Speakers Corner is for. So please come to Speakers Corner or comment below, lazy people, and let's travel on your journey, and let's not derail it, but let's make sure it's exposed and talked about and discussed accordingly. And that's what Speakers Corner is for. That's why he's here. So come visit Speakers Corner. Come talk to this learned gentleman here. And can you leave us with just a positive message, please, about reality, about interaction with reality?
Well, one thing I would like to say is a lot of, particularly in the alternative movement, a lot of gloom and doom around. World Economic Forum is going to put chips in our heads and wipe us out. If you look at any period of history, there's never been a period of history when something dreadful is not going to happen.
Hey, positive message.
That's it. We're going to survive this.
That is a positive message. We are going to survive this, and Speakers Corner and talking is part of that process of survival. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is the dust. Remember, your dreams are real, so please dream for the best. And the dust has now settled. Thank you very much.